the Marianas Agupa Show with Glenn H. Mongolia.
Half a day, buenas dan saludo para todo si mani kung winning programa Marianas Agupa. Ang Sabado talo Stefanielos ginin I oran alas 9 gegan este oran alas 11. Undang kululu na kulo para todo samso de mani kung winning I 100.3 FM Rito tumbo estigi unsen meet na kapasidad elektrisidad gari. Zomadud ka na, papa, tinian luta, zan para ato siya mani luta gwenaw gi Island Guam. Pare mani ku giza Honolulu, giza California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Arizona, Texas, Florida, Virginia, zan interin mundo in Felicita todo do samjo half a day. Good morning para todo do samjo ginin itaw-taw Marianas. Talo pago na dia Marzo 25, 2024, después di mafanyagon Hesus Kristo. Dahil kondaok na paratakalang hitpago na Sabado. Mala, data fansigi mo na gwini. Pinili na tanawin dong kulo na agradecimiento ihumuhugwi programatan Sabado. Anonymous donors, Jules Masi, putudi ajudo. Maski 15 anyos na hahugwi hit. Diabetes Prevention Foundation, Taber Foundation, dylantaber.com. Tamala, zata fansigi mo nagmini zata nay loki saludo I bunanay loki ganas gi time check para pago na Sabado. Mapatumagin o gini ni Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Nga malifa paron review amon mo. I Bravo garapan kagman o sinuenoy na ramas gizadandan.
Central Maulik na hinimlo, pronto dan listo na sedition amo para hinimlo. Agang watugi 233 amo 233-2668. Email is over prescription di bravomeds@gmail.com. Mabababa ginin lunis esta Viernes. Ginin oran alas 9 gegan, esta oran alas 6 ipupoy. Sabado, ginin oran alas 9 gegan, esta oran alauna gitaluan talo. Agang watugi
Alright, po si time check para pago na Sabado. Talulu again 9:04. Mapatumagin o, gini ni Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Si Jules Masi, mga malifa. Para in review amon mizo, bisita I Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Wala, tatanay lukudo I Garapan Public Farmers Market. Siya man malifay na masya maono este. Ginin ilansero na prumududo si ining kano. Uno na yung mas unraw na tsotso. Iparong produce ng kano mo. Na masya honesty na nasyon. Kubuti siya iprumududo si ng kano. Manyalang imanaw ta. Inigit na manggayigit. Tapos mga man malifa, malajata bisita, ta ajuda, imanggaygit naman mafafata. Gigarapan Public Farmers Market. Sexy Leroy o sino si Paula. Alright? Sinigyan, no? Fadilos. Siya man malifay loki na CNS store. Waluray, como siya ay aturidad Pugwa, Saipan, Pugwa Guam, Palau, Yap, Ponape, manggagigi CNS store Middle Road. Kuha loki man mafafata man mangi siya na Starbucks. Coffee, gwa siya Guihan, Locos and Micronesian, fish, waji mangrove crab loki. Dan gwa loki man mafata di kava no mangi esti bigas ti amod na sinyang usap para amod gini pulo na miti afanielos sakaw maagang sugaha gyan malago istama dilatio available lo zanggin siyon agang guato panonsek ko guagwaha gwian pat crab pat inoy ikava no na amot agang guato 287 siya man malifek si Mr. Chris Sablan kumusiya aturidad agang guato zen faisin ko guagwaha neno siya na no amot jan itu siya man mapafata panielos importante na tasupot talopi siya na store giza Middle Road 670-484-1267 or sino 670-287-1267. Alright? Air conditioning. Kumusiya tulidat agang si Aimee gaya kita tin Spice Store garapan with the Hagastarosu na building. Ace Air Conditioning. Aturidad para malalikran air conditioning ikaritamo mga malefane no. Si Aimee doon sangoni na unhungong isti na mensahe yun ni programan Marianas Agupa na sinya manoyo discount. Alright? Zangin bumi ay papa luta mga malefan natin saga di Coral Garden Rota Hotel. Gaya ikan tuntasi, check si Kindo, no sirit. Zangin un ilaw za malino itasi, sinyaha unli papa isdan Guaham, afanelos, Coral Garden Rota Hotel. Right? Smala, datafan sige mo nagwiniloke, datalang no siste, nuevo este na klema na hinihigwi na Joten Markets and Department Stores, mala talang no siste. Alright, celebrating 75 years of serving the CMI. Shop local, shop Joten, mga malefan nino. Ano pala, datafan sige mo nagwini afanielos sa hunggan lokwe no putantes di siya manggaygi piso ni nadingan pago na Sabado was pisyat siya manhita pago na Sabado Zanizotan no Senate President gioran alas 10 gioran alas 10:30 sinya haloki humalom si Senator Corina Magofnia tafan adingan ni si maapupunin na local bill para ugwa dididi tinilay ka gano'n gi asuntun blighted properties wad ma introduce tapos niya explica di mas mo na no paugi oran alas 10:30 no otro afanielos importante siya loki para talang no suzong pareway hapman masusesidi halom isengsong jan man masusesidi enteramente Marianas finini na no na weekend sepita celebra Memorial weekend sa tinatije na selebrasyon 80 anyos na cumpleaños Battle of Saipan. Mafaksa gi Hunyo na mes may paro matutunes ti liberation. Sige wini na mes jan otro mes lo pago na Sabado afanielos umafaksa siya man masusesidig wini gi halumi isla. Luta gi presenti masilelibra Gilita Guput Gilita Festival. Zabuda siya po fan mafata siya diferentes klase ning kano ipapa. Inigi masusesidi gininigap agricultural fair pago zan Agupa umananawa. Buda siya bisitas na manolo papa luta. Di Islan Guaham masilelibra lokwi di Mango Festival. Pago na Sabado zan Utronia Agupa Domingo. Pago zan Agupa. Inigi masusesidi Mango Festival giza Hagat di Islan Guaham. Wini kita Saipan Pago na Sabalo, ultimo muha esti Taste of the Marianas, again yung Tsatsagesti, bisita guato, American Memorial Park, i-Taste of the Marianas, bula siya ningkano lokwi man mafafata na mafatinas ginin isla ningkano ta siya gini dan guaha international cuisine siya man mafafata gi Taste of the Marianas. Alright, po sinigi luta Guam Zan Saipan. At tiniyan taza gini na si mga aktibidad lao makunsisigiha di siya ang weekend maribaha papa i fleti 110 pesos para ado siya manamkota 55 anyos para hulo manilihibli para za sigiha muna sigun ginin i manianti gi Star Marianas na tiutsago mana ibditsu na desisyon ni para ma-incluso luta lokwe para weekend getaway para manamko 55 and up ilihibli para iti $110 round trip ini ni Star Marianas ini logi presenti taza aktibidad tinian gi asuntun guput lo ini na kinalamting i manaw tauta pa ako kada simana sige mana kaya faksa isti siya paratafan guput inigi nagaygi foitsata kumumangaygi gwini na kantun tasi winigi sa Marianas na siya tana fan manyagi ato siya i man mafatumagi hapa siya na ning kano no maproduce gwini zan hapa mafatitinas gwini na ning kano i taw tano i ning kano ta gwini kasi nigi na uno na foitsa na siya tafata Zata umatsagi hafa siya gwini ng kano i natibo. Alright, po sinigi siya. Pinili na mala zata lang no si Kulo para todos ato siya i sumililibra gwini na simana pinili na. Si Camille San Nicolas. Happy birthday Kulo Camille. Brother Henry Manglonia si Henry Smo sa ginumi Kukaw. Happy birthday Kulo. Para si Aaron, private first class, Aaron Ogo, happy birthday Kulo Aaron. Para si Mamalin Mesa, happy birthday Kulo Alvarez. Alright. Dyan si Marie Mesa, happy birthday Dos Dinga, happy birthday Kulo. Para Luki si Bernie Alipuzo, Lenome Kuko Bernie, happy birthday Kulo para Hogo. Para si Joe Regis. All right. Brother Joe Vicino, dito dandan. Happy birthday, Kulo. Joe. Si Christine O'Donnell. Quick, sa ginubay ko Christine. Happy birthday, Kulo. Milan Hill. Hogo quick. Happy birthday, Kulo para Hogo. Si Primon Jack Iglesias. All right. Happy birthday, Kulo Prim. Doon ni Nainay Saina mas molik hinindo mo lokwe. Para si Tamara Miller. Alright. Giza Hawaii. Happy birthday Kulu Tamara. Dan lokwe. Si AJ Mendiola. Bueno Papa Luta. Go Army. Go Army AJ. AJ Mendiola. Happy birthday Kulu. Dan lokwe i Radio Com. Happy birthday Kulu. Alright, po sinigi gwagwi nigi alata, happy birthday Kulo. Okay. Alright, si Brother Peter Santos. Okay, Biba Zamoro, Zan Biba Festan Hagat, bueno, i Mango Festival. May differentes klase siya para fan mafatay, tinanas niya ni mangga. Maniku kamzo, mugaman malefa. Madzo estine masusesidigi islan Guam. Alright? Bismillah. Data sige hat sumukan ni programa ta muna. Okay, po sinigi islan Guam luta i festival loke inigi intervention na. Lopago na sabula fanielos importantes ni i parataatan sa Stapago Chiching Lunga. Tinanahong i kinalamting i collection winigi Islas Marianas. Sa inigeno ginin departamentun i-finance na si Secretary Norita sinyaha maagun atan esti i-budget na estabonasan mapasa na zangin shorta tinahong para uni na guahaji fundo para isibisyon publiko o sinyaha maribisa i-budget winigi mamamayla na mes o sino otro mes otro na mes na para talulo kwanto magayat sigun gi kinat kula anay antisa di mapasa i-budget kasi nigi no pati ginin edu siya ita diskukuti na humuzong desisyon hayat na para mania hotel sa ginin edu nina dididi nina guayku kinalamting niya para maoperanya sa haji para ni pera sa pitalo manaligaw haji ginin sumunsuli journalist Portopia na kumpanyan Hapones lo enigi sa gwagwaha siya man kukunanaf magin informasyon na testiha para uhutsum petan niya nagwaha siya otrum tiutsagugo no mahutsum petan niya pun itinahong kinalamting turis at tinanahong no hinalom niya ma-expecta siya na bisita magi. Pulo menos 35% ha sigun ginin ikinatkulan Marianas Visitors Authority na humahalom na numero. Zati siya kinatsumo na operasyon hotel necessaryo o fatto siya binawgi 60% occupancy rate o sino mas na iparagay ganan siya dididi. Logi presente na kinalamting na tsitsinglunga trabia hinalon turis ti matutsi niya gipaha ipo fan hano magi sa paro fan mambisita magi inigi siya na rason na bula siya maatan monoloke na paro masoda linala niya na komersyante siya especialmente ato siya iman matsutsu hud na lero gi private gi adlibes niya quit po ni gobernamento lokwe na inigi idesisyon na siya maagun atan hafa na short dyan mauno siya po fan ma-prioritize mauno siya importante para fan manaoin na fundo inigi guahas siya gihalatsa siya man makuni ginin ARPA dyan ay humolong nuevo na budget ma-continua edo siya kasi nigi itasasangan na siya ti umafaksa siya sa pudi kinalanting ekonomiya ang tagwini. Guaha siya manhalom man maapasi siya kwenta sigun ginin humalom na informasyon maski 14 milyon para adyo siya mandelinkwente na ti man manapapasi tax inigi humuzong na informasyon za bulaha siya lokwe na komersyante man bibisnis za taza ti man ti todo maripopot siya tasangan kita ikinalamting rason siya na guaha laydut niya asti siya guaha guahay siya na siya man ma-alegra. Lamigay siya na rekomendasyon siya iman huhuzong lokwe na ufan huzong i-enforcement ufan ma-enforce siya. Kasi nigi i-otro na yung mafatumagi gwini. Lodzaw na besangan tagwini na hunggan manhuhuzungit para ta advertise siya islata na para mas pahamagi kinalamting turis. Manahanawhit para Guatu Hapon, para Hong Kong, ginin i-quit po ni NVA para tana paha para ta napahay inaan Marianas. Lo man malilifahit nagwaha esta humuhudong siya informasyon sa gwa in particularmente daw na may mensyona esti na bonito esti matsogi o sino esta matsotsogi finini na ni matsogi gi islan luta esti afanelos sa dongkulo na saludo para opisina niya kadi weno si Aubrey Hokok jan sinlalunya siya komunidad luta dahil manahalom esti magang digital creators social media esti na digital creators si magmagtugid islan luta paudasakan za matutuhon man mafatay hafa siya experience niya siya na digital creators ibulay niya no audience zata na tibula lay no nagasto kanda tinisisaryo pago na tempo para hano para pon sa nagwahan no aktibidad siya gihafa siya sa pago na tempo matulay ka i-plaset komunikasyon winigi para advertise hafa unsutsugi hafa islamo hafa uno frefrisi hafa gwinahamo ista pago kada uno usa ato siya imangay dalalak siya na digital creators dongkulo no dalalak niya hujung na tumatitid zana sidbidyo siya na digital creators zata na nigi finini na nagtali istagwam loki sige mo na man matsogwe no za particularmente ginigi sa luta de hana follow gini si Frank the Crank zan ay manggatsong niya za siya muna huhuzong siya ihafman masusesi di gislan luta za viral siya kumikilig na anay manahuzong kanda maski sen meet na tauto maega esta hafa masusesi di gilita festival matutsinya gweno gi hatsalapon go este o si asunto pa go gini o sino i reson na ta mention sa sinya ta cut down siya ta cost winigi para ta fanhuzong sa para ta imbeti sa lapita gi otro siya na isla sa para ta fanhano wato sa ta hita para ta fangogo auxilio na mala jam bisita islan saipan tinian jan luta tinisisaryo este pago na tempo sa matulay ka esta komunikasyon imagang este pago na tempo generational reset us nisisaryo tala sigbi hafa i-presentive na fuetsa siya na para fatto siya i-boss mo sa Russia dyan tinisisaryo nun hano watu Russia para fatto i-boss mo sa Canada sa tinisisaryo na unhano sa pagbisita panggasta sa Canada para fatto boss mo sa Australia sa tinisisaryo na unhano sa host no media tour sa Australia or media conference tinisisaryo generational reset na sidbi hafa pago ifuetsan makineriya artificial intelligence na isinya kumbida magi sa tinisaryo na panggasta gisan hitsong posenigi evangelos dongkulo na importante para ta estira muna pago na Sabado guasya bini importante za na belang nusuzong gininas delegate kilili na esta sige mo na ha deka esti si delegate kilili za mattutsinya gwena giningwidza ha faisin ni Arms Appropriation Committee za haod din na por favor uwa report po sige na humuzong komite za maod din Department of Navy na nahuzong i-report hafa manisisita gislang tinian giasuntun puetun tasi so manafan manungo appropriation committee za edzo na para mafuksidi sa lapi wato para joint port development gislang tinian sa inigi muna tisinglong siya timunang sa lapi za debi uhuzong na report zo manoy guatu i appropriation committee jezo no paro mafoksiji aswa ji afanelus po mafoksi huzum mid-zone zan mid-zone para ipuesto gini ni militar. Alright, pues saludo para si Delegate Kilili na esta maordin pago i Department of Navy na sadidik ino na report wato de pomali za umana iditso ino na ginagaw i para u sauna lokwi i join use gi puesto ni tasi gweno papa tinian. Alright. Y otro na importante, guahalokwi finaisenya si Delegate Kilili za sige estima deka muna maski 10 años estima lofan destapago tadza sumusuli edzo na lisensya i para umaatan tay mano na isinya umak-convey edzi public submerged land na isinya ta usay half siya na mina na mangaigi ipapatosi. Sige nagaigi afanelus ifutsan ekonomiyata itasi sa dongkululu iplaset. Tibula futsata gwinigi tanu sa dikiki tanota dongkululu sita. Jadi siga mona madeka maski 10 años esta pago tima tautsa trabia tima Interior Department tihananay guatu lisensya guatu tihakam VV na parasinya i gobernamenton Marianas u lisensya i para tanagwaha oportunidad para komersyante gi para ta mina i hafgay gi papatosi tamensyon na esti lanman za anak ko esti na diniskuti i para taatan esti seafloor massive sulfites na isinya man ma-process za tamit kaw huzong gitano afanelus dongkululo nasalapi gi presenti tanisisita Kasi nige za sepya tadiskuti sa ginmanita dan si Senate President pago sa uno loki na matanso para sa uno binigi 902 consultation pwede no gumamas no informasyon pud kau guaha respond gini nezo nakata i si Governor Palacio sa lagno suzong na mamamaisin para uguaha inadingan gwe daw gi seksyon na 902 consultation dyan opisina ni Presidente na isinya mananso hati isinya matatsong gilamasa na isinya ufan masangan importante tilacho tres na punto si Governor Palacio sa lang nusuzong za uno ibandan siya fondon necesidad sa lapi Frencas sa Stapago man aguninia sita moro na para na atut si gininong punta este otro punta. Pues enigi igay gwene i ora na las 10:30 pwede manita dan si Senator Curry na mag-off niya loki na para taatan. Tay mano na para pula ato siya mangagadon siya gihagas siya na lay na isinya hanagwa mas linibiano para imanaw-taw ta especialmente na istapago manggagaygiha guya na istaw afanelus makat mo na mana atot si gininong punta este otro punta. The importante este sige kita sa sanga ni social media coverage di islang luta na sinyata na sidbe pago na tempo. Tutungo afa masusedi get deer meat for dinner no tibula ni nahalong niya ezoy digital creator deer meat for dinner. Ikaw ko'y naswe lo sininbad ko mala zat fansigi mo na gini gwini programata zat noy tempo si Guela agateti zo istira lokwe i half manggagi gweno gi islan Guaham utanti lokwe i cilutan ay para na huzong siya i half gweno papa gi islan Guaham buenas Guela agateti kung sige mo na gihalong ikitod mo na opan.
Hey. Buenas Glenn. Tay manual si humihita na dos. Ta dam mentu. Nai alam lin. Damo na. Posisi este programa
dos.
Buenas todos. Marianas
Agupa
Show.
Chamorro.
Katan na
Isla Siesta.
Tinian,
Luta.
Alfonso Bueno, en principalmente Guinea
US Agricultura. US Department of Agriculture.
Farm
Service
Mafananan
FSA.
Managu
para
Naman
access
para
livestock forage
disaster
program.
Último
tempo nesse
alumni
aplicação
para
i 2000
livestock
forage
enero
2025
talo
mga malay tempo para
2024
program assistance
enero
30 2025
este
livestock
that's the
program
Paajuda
Juan
Padma
kikin kimas para unduk federal
Zangien
mais
dipastai
mai
sagof
anu
zaman
motai kanu sina
sempre
maju
para
una la na neng kanu ifidya Pinexay na team o na programa na para
aqui
kumigalogo dudula nabi
cuma
kalogo chatsay
o sino
gadzu
man
mangajira
Karoneng
kanupis na familia.
Este na
programa todos mamiliki naman mamumu izaluto niyan Zangin intiri sinyonogang essay County telefono 00 855 0
Tiaman
hana tempo tu tati Niniza okan Manali guihin Magas iyo para utung militar Estetisyon guihin na lugar Kosa niya habon matrasferi Estagong Madiskuti para ufan istay
durante
neste namin dependo kay plano ni Pegay Marino Taguatugi plus
este
gifio da neighborhood station Pananan NCS
mulu
para Zico
e outro
okay pode infrastructure necessita mauling
dan
uma nafanafay dan para ufan man na project man
fanna. Atro
lokwet na
base na majuri empleado ano ni Zao. Malako isigun na ugwa pa rin para ano pinigit ilegnya na sila kalit ufan training yan na practice para ufan mansuot itang kasihan ginin estinahin na bendu tinor comprende para ufan para o possível renino ginin Okinawa bisagwahan i departamento kan manunong ya na bababa para i 2 year mid 23 microgram matutuhon yana mes está junio outro mês ginin SD Department of para seguridad nengkano estimina kwan tuhun estina para programan siguro ginin izagwa ST efficiency 3 grants man maajuzu dan klik alanceros pescado tano zan para ufan man produce para usus mauling halina ini lo tau para pago ailas yan natin ng baha Lokwe, Igran, Actividad Edukasyon, dan training ni para uno dan Tinano para usinya lansya setsan kada produkto. Kualifikasyon para lalo na anyos idati dan residenti hau tangwahan imanin kirisan sinya doditi hulu pes nasalapi kanina juda tidak ipandan gaga zan para más información Hai Setyun 300 79 Ginin US Department of Energy a premio is 1.6 million nasalapi ginin primary energy conservation block grant Lokwit tinatik halos 62 Paraguahan para adso na production solar for all. Este siya na sa labo mausad sa makalaika inti na candidate siya ginang todo facilidad recreation Guma Centro mausan ni matauto sihan na lugar sa para sa publiko. Iguam Energy Office sisihan ni Iguam Power para mas Mrs. Project kukulay para Gidos Smith por y organización California. Man
Manggagawa
manggagawa
Resignía,
niya nita ikot sa moron sa lingwahe wagugidza Amerika. Zanginsinya hamuna pininahinana si Senyora Lola sa San Diego telefon 916
5,
5
para
para más información hinano
si
si Jusmasi winigi Marianas conversación mo yun estación punto Jusmasi zana Dios.
Okay, sustainable bueno bila gatiti ene anunsyo o sino informasyon na para ginin farm services agency para adjudo iman ranchers siya livestock producers no para na programa livestock forage disaster program sinya agang lokwi para Island Duta si Eugene Ogo Vizay County committee member Giislan tinian si Mr. Ramon de la Cruz o ginigi islan saipan si Mr. Jesus Castro. FSA, the representative na gigigi islan saipan, few office si Mr. Ryan Regis. Kasi niya in-read si Mr. Ryan Regis, besti na numero, nagagabi lang no sa stay. Okay, agang guwato ginigi few office USDA few office gumaygi winigi opisina USDA agang wato si Ryan i 670-233-3415 kasi nige no bela gatiti para inistire na izomo report para siya na manaw-tawta iguaha man mamumog sa gaga no guaca o sino no bee if you're producing bee ang tilachutan umaluma no jan edzi man mamumog sa no shrimp o siya no man gaygi no man eligible no siya po sa susmosi ko laga tete po no sa sustainnya wa sino kung ba no sa
pues
uno talo ayuda ekonomi
si Jusmasi
alright si Jusmasi ko la gatete magay mala jata pansigi mo na gini alright just no tanan kay bisitata nila ratuan jata na almost alright okay okay pues nige gilin asbuela gatete talo siyempre no giura na alas 10 manita itutsogo ko dyan si Senate President Edith De Leon Guerrero siya ha-updated nedzi iman masusisidig na no siya di sanhilo na kuma dyan dyan ezulokwi manaholong como membro gi 902 consultation kasi niya man adingan ni dididi pwede no na sunto siya alright pues mala data fan sige mo nagwini janggin no na opanes ni antisa dita kontinuay programata mala data lag no system Alright, wala that fancy mo na gwini umalum na concern ginin i community. Puti asuntun tax return. Alright, thank you neno na text i umalum gwini. Alright, unggan guaha siya sa pawagot sa biyati man malalang no siya. Isti na concern na taxpayer. Man matsutsuts siya gi CHCC das tapagot yung umuhudsugon siya ito niya no tax return. Alright, pud asunto na ti man siguro remit ito niya chapter 2 tax usa ti sinya mas tasangan neno ti tatungo nga sa petsagi afan umagan med just yung malums bili ko sinya kung mangintusit dan si CEO Esther Munya sa ta find out neno. Apa ti man mapapasi ti muzong i-tax. Nagasalami ti mo gagigi otro na telepono izo niya number si Mrs. Munya, CEO. Di siya contact pagulo di siya mas ta address no na concern no sige nagwa malum siya concern gini ni community i hudnalero ni man matsutsu gi spitat gwa siya ti man huhudzo izo niya tax return za ti siya mas ajudaw tselo sa ti utsutsuli telefon niya sabay sina si directly Chief Executive Officer mano na gaygi no mano na istaw ni manggaygi hunalero parangayan inigi ko no iparangayan no ista man matsutsulia siya ito niya tax kada pagamento za maangungu ko na mapapasi holo stige siya na concern revenue and tax gi asuntun tax jadi uno no ti humuzong put guati mafatsa no kau todo mapasi pati todo ti tagiftungo za ti siya o agang si Chief Executive Officer Munya Podeste. Alright? Bago na gagigi otro na telefono sa utsutsuli agin magay di telefon niya so selo po doon sa otro semana by final no para eno siya na empleo pago di pumalo esta tunga na esta mimigay niya manhuzong i-tax return giislan guaham guana hanogi umagi si Cristo Paco San Agustin na kada semana manhuzong siya tax return giislan guaham matutsinya gweno gi laksi uzong bulay sta mo receive tax niya giislan guaham at ibula na complain no giislan guaham nahung no fondo para inapase no siya paguhita gwini trabia wagwa siya sunto za titagif comprende kau magahit todo do man remit halom sini no za isinya mas ta explica pago na sabalo za jangin gua mas informasyon bay lang no seno gi mamamayla na sabalo hafa lati man mapapasi taxpayer is niya tax return. All right? Okay, pustaza mas siya ba explica po din no? Guahasiya no sige na lang sa stiuzum sa trabia ti man mafatto i tempulo istagi ti utsagugo man hano siya izota delegates i artist para Hawaii Tilacio matutungi Hunyo dia 3 siguro sige man hano watu sa matutun i Festpac gi Hunyo dia Lepo matutuhon za pwede ha o representahin siya man na fanholon ko ini na delegation ni para mafata siya half lokwi no kulturata gi asuntun artista apa siya tafatitinas ko ini no gua finaisin niya lokwi fondo put para ufan hono ufan umafata no dan tilacho esta iditsu naman manoy neno na fondo sempre man hono za po representa Islas Marianas Agupa. Para todos ato siya man maazik no congratulations no ono din representa i manaw tawta gi no na aktibidad festpack no da pwedya ugaha lokwi no unistira mas interes mo gi sa hunggan man kompetitin siya jani pumalo siya na isla sa kada uno gwalo kwi kulturanya jan gwa siya man mafafata siya no atis niya gi-interin mundo no tapoy dia man maatan siya sa sempya gwa pateta gwe no gwa ha tauto sempi man malago man magtuginin eno man mali hafalo kwi siya ta ufrefisi siya afa siya na tatsusu wigwini na siya gwa interes ni po fan magtumogi. So pwede ugwagwe na no hinalumturis ginin enaw na kwetpo apanelos. Alright, po sinige enaw para po ako na sabalo tabala data panati da tananggay si Tata si Senate President. Pwede umalong gini. Alright. Sige, zotan no Senate President wala zata fansigi mo nagini sa diba na every day is a new day para sa President.
Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, Glenn. This President. Inagwin.
Nagandang waktu President naga. Alright, bigay pa ako. Alright, wala. Gata fansigi mo na gini. Sus masi President Edith De Leon Guerrero, kau mauli ka na diya, mauli ka na Sabado para ako.
Malika, no. Manakit ke mga kasi at Christian of you.
Okay, pues at least no still under the weather no si Sus masi na magto pa ako na manita.
Just was.
Kwasya no pressing issues yan Steve na no congratulations na uno na inapunta sa Governor Palacios para i-delegation i-902 sa estano nagseptano dayan is na para masusede no President
Walang chago ano. Sinyan mo. Ungo ka pa ilain mo to.
alright yeah okay go ahead
Taja tarabiya no date ni Nayan for meeting jani start pointis kanya ni America. So ni
yeah we're having a minor issue with the internet connection. I can see you, I can hear you, though you're breaking up a little. No. Okay. It's not clear, no, Kigizago? Okay. Hold on. Let's see here. Mesti na technology magay. Itigya sa tinawag bandwidth no hana ofa itigya. Ulungo ka justa?
Uno ko wa, no tik.
Okay, mala, let's make the best of it. Kalan echo na. Didi no. Okay, nagana. Hold on na. Let me try and do another setting here.
Check ko tatay audio.
Yeah, nagarata so. Okay. All right. This is that I did the cancellation of the echo cancellation. Morning, Jimmy. All right. Okay. So thank you again, President, for joining us. As I mentioned earlier, congratulations kay Mapunto para sa Governor Palacios pa rin hamzo na dos. Ito kuwaha otro daw. No, esta unaccept tayo no? Kung guwan
Tinuebo jo para estige, in fact, no i-gobyerno ganso personally para be accepted sa niya invitation. No malago na pa be join gi. Pero yan ganyan ang bahay nung umami na dos matendis ti meeting di sa Crown Plaza. Sa komento sa amin un rato gi sanidong kasangani jo po destinano to. That was about 2.5 months ago. Because ganyan recently ta ni to be accepted sa invitation na organs personally sa Afaisin na ba be join gi. I-job ko experiensya gan ni Glenn como naso dati tempo ani estado sa Secretary of Labor. No sumauno jo ganun ganano to consultation. Ganun na time si na tempo si Arno Palacios kaya ganun na time i-presidente ni Senate. Hindi na time ni umano jo no sumauno jo ganun ganano to consultation.
Alright. Ako i-result is previous na 902 consultation ko hold si Marianas.
Ano sa ginigifan mapos niya by 2017 di May kay gidus tagi Department of Labor kay gidus tagi government. Because it was it's optimo na 902 ani tabi Secretary of Labor as ganyan no sumauno so gi Washington DC. There were numerous meetings in a tempo subsequently after those years. No official no 902 consultation matog ni administration until to halo mesti nebo na administration.
In your experience and in your recollection, what is the result of the consultation?
In the time when we meeting one of the priority discussions regarding the CW1 program, after a discussion at that time period durante a discussion sa Washington man meeting Hawaii first man meeting loki gini sa Saipan no madiskuti loki ko desti i military build up. And as we know it today, no, bago na success din i-presente na manera.
Are you hopeful for wow sa sitwasyon ng body kasi speak of na sangkin kawakas sa
Debbie dita fan hopeful sa mga man malefo na izota relasyon ng Estados Unidos izota covenant provision. Permitted may covenant na panagwala economic prosperity in partnership with the United States government. Pues inigi is often standing firm in diplomacy dan relasyon through covenant provision We are two separate government entities, but we are part of the American political family. So inigis often no leverage para ta na siguro na ta existe ni na diretso i-offer pinimet para minalik to Marianas.
Yeah, is the consultation, consultation para konsulta, no?
Hanggang tafanakon sa ta sa no again yan may covenant uno no dos punto again no ani no malum zo sa makataran labor ano tatagdan no panda niya maagan yung unilateral power of the United States. Uno na unilateral power is that actually labor and immigration. Hindi uno. The otro unilateral power is Estados Unidos in national security. Everything else under a covenant provision is negotiable. So there's always that opportunity to 902 we always revisit discussions.
Going back, it's a consultation to the mandate, it's a provision na parawa action, no? Only consultation, so in your view, the United States, okay, the consultation. Thank you, President, for the consultation. Also, palabra yang begitu para figure sort of a consultation set.
And again, na preciso ni i-dos na gobernamento i-dos na gobernamento, no? Zon haji man mapunta pero dinirihi mo na STE grupo. Either mo na the consultation or audit. No, deputy baha puri tempo ba follow-up discussions, no? Whether officially man may meeting or than to, for example, Assistant Secretary of Interior, magto man bisita gi Pacific region. Todo na siya na class and discussion puri tempo deputy madiskuti mo na.
Because the consultation, one of what to say on a report, so big one report, no? What to do, President?
Recommendation siya.
Recommendation was ang yung buha anisita ng elected lives if we malawag to the U.S. Congress.
Yes.
So simply at the end of the day, the action of the U.S. Congress para effectuate because of a recommendation.
Absolutely. For example, Ginebo Pago na programa ni Poro Mantelati to for effective gi September sa EVS staff. Hindi uno as a result of a to consultation prior years. Hindi pago na moving forward sa tatunga na CW1 transition period is coming up pretty quick, no? Pues hindi na rason na durante ni prior conversations or consultations to mapanyago hindi na ideya na programas no proprio na bidding process para iturista ganyan ni China.
Is that a process of the US Congress go mangaiganas the US Congress para ma-entertain recommendation to the Republican control House pareho
Esta EVS stop mag-get through Congress esta no alam gi interim final rule pues esta siyempre by September ni debut efektibo iti programa esta na parole visa no content siyempre pinino siyempre ni EVS stop na process hindi mamamalan level na sistema.
Esta on the rule the department level.
Esta man nahusong yung interim final rule, esta mo na the comment period, it's just a matter of implementation na. Tangin matatitigi siya naman yung nagkukot yung pwesto ng gobernamento. Hindi pa ako no na process. It's just a matter of time to kick in.
What about no financial assistance if they don't use Congress?
Debya, no, katunga na under 702, gagi ni na diskusyon, ibang ng financial. Sige na, nagawa man hong giso na, articulon, covenant provision, hindi na gagi i-minute Marianas, ni por patatson sa ni Estados Unidos, pero diskuti siya yasunto Marianas ni Africa na, ibang ng ekonomiya, ibang ng financial, office siya na problema na regarding the implementation of capital improvement project, the lack of sufficient workforce para construction projects. Todo nigi siya sa tatunga na kisufficiente i-presente na manera gibandan quanto man necesita pero masolgi siya idang kulunso na construction. for example, tatunga na EDA projects is worth more than 100 million. Lobula loki construction workers man ginasa na touchback provision. That's another pressing issue na debido madiskuti entaluidos do gobernamento entalo Marianas sa Estados Unidos. Kasi niya mas no na programa mas maulik ni para susteni mo na ekonomiya Marianas kasi kasi niya ugwaha sufficiente na workforce pero konni mo na istisyon na dangklong project itapakana dyan tagubuti gilapluta sa EDA una na project worth more than 100 million. Imagine 8% of projects man under CIP no funded projects. Todos ti siya no man tinitika todo construction companies dati sa IPA na siya bentiga ito no business of the construction company gizaluta or tinian da siya man mas spread out is niya workers lo di presente na manero tungo na bula man inafekta ni touchback provision.
Yes. Bula na presente even us. So,
yeah, it's alam so kaman manyugunit siya un tufong kanto na tao man matsotso.
Makikita ko siguro na issue kaya labor issue. Is that what preliminary proceedings that
Taja Tarabia lo isa tatunga afa gobyerno sa dirihi mo na topics para madiskuti ni grupo isa na uzong kampanya po nigi siyempre natural na nigi i-team niya ako form para mag-focus siya.
Siya istimalo medyo cabinet provisions siya no dito na siya na section 103 siya no discuss
usually ang man matasong ginano to consultation you have to pretty much stick to the subject matter. You often agree between both governments apa pa madiskuti. There's really no very little opportunity to sway into another area of conversation. In my experience, it's very direct, it's very focused, it's very structured.
So, ako you're optimistic na they'll hold the meeting 902 this year?
Sige.
So, optimistic ako na para set meeting date this year, knowing that it's an election year?
Yeah, I'm very optimistic. So again, it's just a matter of time. Estados Unidos no ena pa gulo manananggan ni gobyerno para na yan Estados Unidos presidente pero organize on the team. Tagay niya na siyempre no a trigger initial meeting.
So, what na speaker of the house will be part of the
nagay ko na predict ko na ikonto speaker of the house no Rosano giting.
Okay. Any other pressing issues facing the Senate, Mr. Molik?
Well, it's an ordinary process gibanda ni Senate at least standing committees lahat bulap sa niya para masolve gibanda legislation the other thing tatunga na there are 3 special committees who form well to masolve ni the latest one you form is 200 million na ARPA money para maatan. That's ongoing right now. For example, basya no legislations manggagi komite. Uno na legislation ni preciso maatan lo kasi banda ni is the utility rate ni para mazuda hospital. I-presente na manera hospital no matapos government rate. So lo jangin mas dajan ni kasi maatan ko ni mediano na mas malignya 20 jangin manoi corporate rate kasi niya medkot mas hospital gimandang financial. Otro na manera no maatanloki na matutsogi mo na as we speak. Some alum todo documento siya regarding the incoming FY25 budget. So that's another moving forward no a lot of work to be done. Parewa isang papa na guma dali sa nilo na guma estan ni siya sundia i-committee. Otro na committee ng Senate is the REDP. Maatanloki i-renew Coral Ocean Point no land lease. Bula mas setting sa nilolok na gumas ko mambisi komite lebih mambisi sa iligay no responsibilidad niya para masolve it.
Just I don't know maybe still there was an appointment by
Reviews Administration on the Second Political Status Commission, chaired by Pete Regis, Chairman. Is that committee still active?
Which committee?
The Second Political Status Commission.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I was aware. I was not a sitting public official at that time, but I was aware that that was formed at that time period. But I am not aware that it's still active now.
The reason why I brought that up is I think that I read that correctly, like you call it, the going out to the community, that commission that was established to find out what are the issues that are affecting the community people.
Yeah, that's a good thing to follow up, know whether there's any gathering of information or there's any official report done.
And from that, you can put together a strategy for the issues that we'll be talking about next. When the President of the United States appoints.
I'll definitely look into that.
So something that I just want to ask you that. So obviously, I don't know how still active. So that was created by law.
This the Kumalamugi Senate. No, I've never heard about it. I like I said before, I became an elected official. I did read about it. I remember na ma-formulate and again na body for my is Second Political Status Commission. So after that, no, it just kind of like went off the wayside. I just never heard about it again. But I definitely look into it and keep you posted.
And it's important for the community to take part in that, so that they can let the commission know what's going on and maybe the delegates to do that. What are the issues affecting the community?
Absolutely.
So, look at the PTKSD one course. I used to have yes, Namu, question for the President? Yes, go ahead. Dui nangganuin ako siguro question mo by President. President Bidon Guerrero.
Good morning, Louis.
It's just the power one of assistance. All right, thank you. Okay, now that I see you the 9 times, address na. Well, we know the President who funding para his assistance for the community.
Funding para
to assist our people to bring the cost of high utility costs. What's that?
now, unfortunately, no, the thousand tiningo nung kuga ng additional funding no, baha siya programa ni para na siya manani housing no through NMHC, the CDBGR na programa. Lo man-introduce no baha introduce resolution for the payroll protection program, not necessarily give mandan housing lo. Pretty much ano no kasi matamana durante ni doktor no COVID no pandemic period. Ni maninasistin na pero ma-sustain niya payroll para empleyado. Pero no wahalo pa siya no patigan no ni qualifying expenses, for example, in mortgage payments. Lo ini istigin na preciso istigin bandan din istigin mamala ginano to na todo siya na klase na asunto within the subject matter that is relative to the topics presented by the governor that could be folded into the conversation.
Okay, as he stressed that points there, Lagos Governor, the financial one first. Okay, second. So I know in third, it's a
You know your workforce, your three military.
Okay, so that's the second military.
Right.
For historical purposes, I think, so sa ginmagtubinaw na issue pa discussing military back then, I don't know kung ano nas pinaswa, naman maatsusuga e-commerce, okay, to bring their products to Guam at a designated place, Libya military, drop at the airport at this time, and when we get to Guam, have somebody pick it up at the base. Please emphasize that, so they did that in the flights, they're coming in and out there. Parewa, Libya to Guam, Saipan to Guam,
Yeah. Hindi na proceed to Glenn na si, if I may say, wahid sinama dyan PTAC Center. Master Blessing. Hindi PTAC Center, no pwede, no sinya man hujong sa ma-provide services para i-farmers ni sinya man ma-register. Gibanda ni federal na sistema ni sinya man halong sa manmanatan no often na klase produkto pa services maliligo ni militant ni porfan ma-supply. Kosa kisinya i-farmers man ma-register as vendors. And no ganda gibanda ni priority is ibanda ni Department of Defense contracting. They always place a lot of emphasis no bisang ano na gini uno na meeting mo gibanda ni CJMT bring up enigi na asunto gi generals because it's a closed door meeting bisang anya amso uno gi joko concerns o race gi siya na utungan sa Department of Defense contracting ma-emphasize gibanda ni minority group, women, persons, veterans, pretty much anybody considered in the minority group. So for example, I'm just looking at man farmers. No siya man ma-system jo ganun gibanda niya services and goods provided na manhalo I'm just looking at man ma-registra hamzo gibanda niya exhibition ni PTAC centers and panhalong gi federal sa panmanai ni jan medyo ID number as vendors. Sa inigi uno no looking no siya ni man manayam zo no contract ni siya on provide siya ni jan niya produkto ni man necesita para militar.
Okay.
Because I'm just farmers no registered the bandaneno. Those ang gintaza, and I would definitely encourage your association members to go for it. You can register.
That's a good one. Let me take one call from the landline. Do you have a question for the president? Yes, now. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Facilito? Oh, direct flight. Yes. Okay. Mas na question pa na si President, Guapo Faisal. Okay. Is that? Está, si Jesus masih lokal itu. Alright. Parin Hamzun dan si Governor para Washington. Ito si Mr. Vera. No going back to there's more comment niya presidency. Comments niya.
I didn't really know to go to Flores on yan. No comments if you. Good morning, Phil, by the way. Lo, Joe, umuki direct flight. Mabira siya sa akin sa Marineba dyan yung contract.
Yeah, but it's
Siguro sa office subject matter.
what to warm siya yung Honomogin. So I think he's
So, Manggaya, Loki, U.S. Border Patrol, ganyan eh. Sa tita mo, contractor side borders na is under Homeland Security.
he's pointing on a very important points if you labor na. So, at the time, when we control our labor, the economy is moving up, right? And the US took that. So, we know na issue that the points in discussions of labor issue. So, I don't know how you're gonna articulate, the issue. Can they give us back?
Well, I know that there's a lot of push sa Nizum to try to bring back the labor and immigration control under the CNMI government. So it's going to take congressional action. Like I said, part of the provisions of the covenant is that the United States government has unilateral power to take away waiver bill provisions. And then nigi waiver bill provision in labor and immigration at that time period. Sige na matsuli ni.
No, on a different matter, look at you. Mababayolate na yung Section 103. Self-government. I mean, it's I can only work with one hand.
Yeah.
How can I be self-sufficient and get to that economic level, just like any state, like if you only work with one hand?
Yeah. And there's two things, self-government and self-sufficiency.
Yeah. Suppose in the US, you got the immigration and labor. So that's not completely self-government. You see what I'm saying?
There's two sides ni asunto. Let's not forget that during all those the period before the takeover, at that time period, there was a lot of labor abuses with the garment factories. That's what pretty much led up to the takeover. I remember that.
Those can be controlled.
Until at that time, Maktu si U.S. Congressman from California, si Miller. And remember, I'm not even an elected official, but I was following the story, and watching everything that was happening. And that was the height of all of the issues facing the Commonwealth that led to the takeover of labor and immigration.
Yeah, that can be fixed locally on that.
Well, yeah, I think it's a matter of Paraguay personally. I think it's just a matter of putting back the faith and trust into the government, meaning the CNMI government, and we must ask ourselves the question: can we do this? Can we do this correctly? Can we do this honestly and diligently?
Make a good case. You can make a good case to bring back immigration control.
You just have to strike that no trust.
Yeah. So ngani with one hand. So ngani no sila.
Well, I'm just in the process on discipline. Are you still going to be naughty, or are you going to fix yourself? No.
Ito si kinut sa muro. So kan mangoni. Don't explain properly how.
It really boils down to trust. You just have to strike this trusting relationship.
Really appreciate your input on how you're preparing yourself for this final tool. And for this, I hope that we have enough time to bring issues of concern by the people too. So
absolutely.
You can feel the passionate interest of the people in terms of self-government. Isinya control apa pagkasobit sa masangangan.
There's many other, no, Glenn, economic benefits that we could definitely get ourselves into, and it's just time that needs to be, given and addressed, because this is not just about labor issues. There's many more other issues that no debe di tagov attend at tatsagit sumuli loki i-beneficio para minalik ko Marianas.
Saludo para ako, President, half of you, even if you're in DC, and hopefully they'll respond this year, no? So,
Thank you.
We'll keep it up. Thank you for informing us perspective. Next, is on the chair for the
Thank you, Glenn.
All right.
Happy Saturday for Ramsey.
Senate President Edith De Leon Guerrero, jika na manita pa ako, bonito mo guys, sa pwede, tunga na guwahin zo niya passion na po presenta i-case na mala sa tatsulit tati sa immigration and labor control. Nige, important no? No, without no more information, no tunga sa pinamakat loki matsuwit sa niya sa intibang pipara lo. She's doing her work. Okay, what's next? Si Zotano Chair the Economic Development, si Natural Resources, right? All right. Si Senator Corina Magofnia nagatala kaya luma gini. All right. Zafar Malika no Senator. Soda Zotano. Oh, there you go. All right. Okay. Okay, pues you're on. You're hot. Your mic is hot. And first of all, talo welcome. No nagumagyo. Tungo siya areas of no bill na yung touching base. Something just came up forward Zoom iniga about the proposed local bill. Can you please explain that? And first of all, welcome. Okay. Malago ko na address dito sa audience.
Of course, todo tempo. No, just masi talo no Mr. Mangone ng kumbira do hall hindi na sabi para ta quantos de tipo este local bill ni introduce. There's actually an existing law for blighted properties, and so I'm just simply making some amendments in hopes that it would improve, jan taputehi ito sa gwasya gini provisions gini na law ni at this time the possibly para ito that all the discutimos and pretty much as in a law. I'm introducing as former Representative Larry De Leon Guerrero. My enacted in a law back in 2018. Intent para este na law puro areglay tanong tazo na cost-gas that puro na siguro na ba safety para yung community law and ito. So it's a great bill of law. I fully support it. Unfortunately, at this time, I believe it's not feasible both for the government to enforce and most especially para ito. Sa este na law ni no kumekele niya na este siya blighted properties. The blighted properties are okay, este siya nuisance. Junk cars, basura gisa ni guma, este na law no ano autoridad zoning pero fanujon sa puro assess ni property siya kuno siya ma-violate kini na provision, it's against the law kasi man ma-assess penalties and fees. Pagod ang ginti niya ito ma-reglas di siya i-building iguma pa building ni ma-abandon pa si vacant sa siya vandalism na mapukay para pa matsama kibeta sinya zoning assess fees para no siya na violations sa community sinya property owner regla no sa pre no jagit tema process siya na fees no guard diretsonya I zoning according to
the law.
it's a law. Ni sinya mapega lien the properties at ginti maaregla iling ni itotota, they can foreclose on that property. So enigi na uamenda este na law para biprotehi itotota gisanhalong na village. Polo esti siya kontunsalan sa sige sinya ma-focus I zoning so ma-enforce. Yo para isanalon siya na village I gumay toto, you know, bula toto tisinya ma-afford para ma-apos ito no siya, ni po ma-aregla, po managasgas, you know, sa kumuti mamida no siya na requirements, sempre man ma-assess ni fees, at sa tisinya talo ma-apos no na fee, pues sige ni problema para kuwaho ni sa uwaatan na niki para tamhanin ni pata at sudosi taungan na malapit na mas kasi tanuta of course lo malalo ko sa taatan ni otro banda ta faisin hid ni ko sinya magay ito to ma-afford and no you know I understand kung sen comprendi intent este na build sa uso what so we have to find the balance. Then kita pwede ito mas kilo sa paragraph ni Article 12 then po masulit at ito siya na to ginilinis ni tota. No.
I kind of read that a previous law that's was what was that
20-25.
20-25.
Yeah.
I kind of glanced it and I kind of pinpoint. I saw your argument. Your concern.
It's very strict.
Yeah.
You know, it's a double-edged sword. Fortunately, zoning hasn't been very active in enforcing it, right? So that's the fortunate part. Sa kung ma-enforce estas you know, so mga nagwa sa pre-reglamento, lo sa sinyahaluki bula man malimutan, you know. But you know, paraguaho ni, you know, and I think a lot of people can agree with me. Na gitem an mamali kitempo, right? Sa pula sa lot people were prosperous. We don't really pay attention to enforcement, especially when it comes to collection of monies. Logi gundumidi di sa lot people tumaza unrotu ta pata atan todo money ni mangagi siya ibang sa lot people sta enforce. Good example is the revenue and tax. We've been hearing a lot of, you know, enforcement and collection, and which we should have been doing from the very get-go. You do not wait until your entire straight right? Lo annually ineste na esta siga tumunod sa government, right? Uli este na sempre todo sa government agencies ni man to generate revenue. This would be one of the ways to, you know, to collect those revenues and manamas ito. Tipago na tempo ni man austerities and man reduce the hours, you know, plus there might be possibility more reduction in workforce, you know. So that esta manutin to the business community, no? So the tempo na our economy is in collapse. So what do you think these government agencies are going to do? They're going to try and go after everything that they can collect money on. And I'm sorry, I just, you know, as much as I'm part of the government, I'm always looking out for the welfare of our people. So this is why this is so critical. You necesita understand zoning requirements. Sa jangin matu zoning sa sta tutuhon gi mo enforce.
At the end of that process, if you know process because you're having financial issues, malini lugar mo sa masun na problema ito to.
Absolutely.
Lugar yun na juda na na problema. Okay, I saw that when I was reading it. Unfortunately, the pare way back 2020,
18 actually.
2018. The first thing that came to mind was that the bill, like I said, the law was the intention is good, however, unna kikiumlat zi masusit na klasin law siya na zoning gigay Amerika, unna kikiumlat gini gikiki na tano dati siya umlat na. You see what I'm saying? Bijan yung sasangan. we are at the financial situation is that the economy doesn't even match to the lowest in the states, ne? Was parang nahalunzo na law applicable in California, for example, no? Kasi yung naunlad zo gini is in a community na. Law the law was good, right? Intention for good law. Wala waso no. Maybe there's another alternative. In addition to what you're proposing to amend the inside, no, come up with something that would phase in. Okay, so another alternative is what do you call this? This particular law cannot phase in unless we meet it on a standard. So it becomes, when the standard goes up, when the income of our people reaches on a level, when the unemployment is below 4%, which means it's full employment. Everybody's working. Nobody is. When we reach that level, based on the consumer price index or whatever the GDP, then that can kick in. In that way, it can be like, if the economy returns to a good standing, everybody's working, making good money, then it kicks in, and nobody's gonna be mad because they can say, okay, I can fix it. My blighted property, I have the means to do it.
That's a great suggestion, Mr. Mangonia. So right now, the bill is still in the committee.
Okay.
So, there's room for improvement. That I would definitely take that into consideration. That we present that to the committee. Talita mano ni tamahula.
Put it on hold. It's na provision. It doesn't kick in until we reach the states.
Idea. No. So let me just explain a little bit of the amendment. No.
Go ahead.
So my two main focus on this amendment is to amend the provision in the entire island. Again, I'm going to go back to just focusing on blighted properties and nuisance along the main roads where it's very visible to our visitors, right? I mean, MVA and the entire cinema is always talking about making the Marianas a world-class destination.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, we can all see that it's not. So let's focus on the main streets where we can make the improvements that enforce us in a law. So this is not for commercials only. This is also for residential.
Yes.
So nigi uno na amendment gito ko bill para ta focusan blighted properties gini along the main roads where it's very visible. The second amendment gini na bill puro na itati true owners of those properties dan gini sa kaso prampu no malis ni toto sanism or anybody. Sti siya lista tunga na ba siya 55 years. The bulan na properties
right on the
main road man malis ni toto sanism for 55 years. Unfortunately, tisinya man maarigla sa manayos tanong siya ng totogi. Izoku amendment no propose na in fact no kuno timapatsa ni siya malis for 5 consecutive years who automatically manalalo tatino na tono tatigi totota. So matsuli zita no za either uma siya ni po ma-decide ko po mana ifamagunya or ma-reinvest talo uzum, no? That way the economy can continue, can have continuity. Tisinya stina siga pro maguti siya na tono for 55 years of housing improvement. So that's part of my amendment.
No, okay, very good. I like that. Would that contradict a lease agreement, a contract?
And again, Attorney General comments,
right.
no?
Okay.
So
you're waiting for that comment?
Well, I'm hoping that the committee chair have sent out letters to the respective stakeholders who will be affected by this amendment and solicit those comments and preferably invite them into the legislature and we can sit down and have better discussions, So go mo introduce ikumitaya name so it's niya da umala panmahagan all of zoning attorney general da noti siya ni profanin affecta da umasolista the comment niki necesito matulong.
All right, Molike no sa no zagin kisinya at so kisinya develop sa no his what do you call this he's like a middleman na the became a blighted property na di maliligrab the masyaw ma-penalize na Lipinomo zagin kisinya no
And I think 5 years is ample time
Yeah.
to really decide or determine whether you're going to stick around or not. The fair para ito, 55 years is such a long time. So either you know, like I said, 5 consecutive years to be fair, no? Sa wajin mo to pagod a year, because something happens, they want to next year. Whatever the case may be, I think 5 consecutive years is fair, right? And ample time for an investor to decide what they want to do with the property that they lease. And if they're not going to do anything, then please give it back to the rightful owner so that they can do something about it.
No, you mentioned the owners, na, in a scale, na, it's on a scale, right? No, decisions have to be, and we've seen that in court proceedings and court decisions ruling that it always tilts the scale towards the owner. The owner has a little bit weight in interest of the property owners.
Most
I
especially
think,
because
you're on the right track on that.
Most especially for us, scarce
Yeah.
itanota, mampus ikikitinabong tayo. So, I am confident that the courts will see it that way. We have to make use of our land. I'm also I will be introducing another legislation pertaining to the doctrine of waste, which goes hand in hand with this blighted property bill, because the doctrine of waste pretty much talks about, not wasting land. So, I'm hoping and I'm going to introduce this in adopta lokui zigi sa primuna mas good estimado puet para ito to sanhizum ni tisinya ko fanoluma sa pumasuli tanong tapos pumazutya hasta kinayam na malago ko fan mo tapi like I said, to be fair okay para siya ni mamang gasta sa lapi. I think 5 consecutive years is more than enough time to decide whether you want to develop the land or give it back and tipun because that's too bad, that's your loss, But my role here, my responsibility is to protect our people. And so I invite businesses and investors to come into our cinema, though they kita adahi itotota.
You're on the right compass, no, Senator. No, like I said, always, no, I've seen it in rulings that always the VST court, right? The law, right? Scale, is it scale, right? No, the balance always a little bit on the landowner. It's always still it feels on that. Yeah, it's on the side of the landowner. So gagano na morekeno. True na sa you're doing something that doesn't really cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's just the changing of our policy.
It's just the language.
Yeah, language.
The language that I'm working on, because the language is very important, but it has a big impact.
Big impact.
Big impact, especially for people.
So, speaking of that, I think we communicated, touch bases on a little language that can be changed. I'm talking about creating an environment, shifting sa depressed kangman. So in order for the economic activity to go down to that area, you need to create the environment conducive to create na settings. And one is just minor language change, or maybe, I don't know, it has to go through delegation, local law, state zoning. So ma-rezone lalangita, make it into mixed commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, once you do that, it would become attractive. People, even our local people, and there's a lot of properties there that are not being developed. So yeah, they can lease the place. Totota, dress shop, So in other words, you're with your mindset, changing the policy. No, what do you call this, can create that
Yes.
economic activity.
And I believe, Mr. Mamonia, zoning has a lot of autonomy to really amend some of the
Yes.
regulations that they have in place. So it doesn't necessarily require a legislation from the legislature. They just really need to look at what they can amend on their regulations.
They can probably
and
do it
promulgate
themselves,
that
no?
themselves, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, Zangin necesita na legislation. I'll work on it. Because we really do need to foster and encourage more economic development in other places other than the existing
Can you
locations.
take that and run with it? Between Ikatman, Tang Beach and Marine Beach, ne? That area it's a mixed commercial. So in other words, the people there, present na toto, they can come, they can build their house. That's fine, but it allows them to even open a shop in front of their house. You see what I'm saying? And it would create marine sports activity.
Absolutely, and it's a great opportunity to generate revenue for the tourists that do come to that area, right? Because there's Tang Beach, there's Marine Beach, and so if we have restaurants there that the tourists can enjoy, not just tourists, but even the local residents. I don't see why not.
Yeah, eventually, sinya no prospect. Let me put up a boardwalk. I'll put up the bill. The person I'll have a terminal activity. I'll build the facility, but I'll have my own shop. Again on the class boardwalk between one beach to another, so people can walk around it.
I see your vision, and I think it's great. And it just takes collective effort by everyone to put in that work, because I do see that it can come to fruition if we all share the same vision.
So it doesn't take a lot of money to do it. So you create that activity. And speaking of that, the major outline gini is shifting na depressed zone. So that you can have like in Tinian. Tinian is good, right? Sa man sige mo na kumigana lo roda. No stapago rota it needs to be, they need a push, economic push. It can be declared as an economic depressed zone where businesses the applicable certain type of permits. You see what I'm saying? It's a depressed area. So in order to encourage investment there, you don't pay certain amount of whatever, taxes, defer tax. You're investing in road in a depressed zone. Mindset this thing. I think your committee can maybe come to Rhoda. Committee, Natural Resource and Economic Development. So the whole committee can explore
Absolutely. Well, we have the budget hearings coming up. We will be traveling to both Rhoda and Tinian. And since my committee comprises of both Tinian and Rhoda members, this is a great opportunity when we go down there for us to go around and take a look at what Rhoda official na challenges, perfect sa dos na Rhoda delegation committee.
Perfect.
It's a great opportunity to have those discussion and see what we can come up
and
with.
Tinian too, I know Tinian is it's a acceleration is going so good,
Yes.
But what do you call this? We cannot let that thing maybe umanaholong Tinian sa importante. All right, pues afas siya otro niging committee coming up.
Coral Ocean Point, esta numan meeting ami inaganolo mi kumpira alo mi DPL and Coral Ocean Point. We're at a point now where the Mami Legal Council draft resolution, a joint resolution para been introducing both the House and the Senate. So once that draft is done, Malaguzo as the chair and I've been meeting the cool members that been Pag-mantus dito put offer gagi resolution that kung mas malago add or remove, on these different meetings in a house, pues, I would really love to give the members an opportunity to have a say in this resolution because we are a committee. This is not a one-person committee. This is all the members involved. And then I'm hoping that the House is doing the same thing, drafting up their own resolution so that when we come together in a joint committee meeting, then we both have something to produce, and not just rely solely on the Senate. So I'm hoping that the House is also doing their part. And again, when we meet, then we have something to offer on the table, and then come to an agreement on, what should be on the resolution.
All right.
That way, we're not wasting time.
You guys are doing a fantastic job up there. Tunggu na sempit yung magtitin po na the up for election this year, no?
Oh my.
Tapos, ang magtitin mo sempit matonyo talo ano. All right, lang bonito todo no. Tunggu na yung koni yang kamu suka na kung koni mau sa tali troto di dalam station.
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. Oh my goodness.
So she's doing jiu-jitsu and MMA and ballet. So trying to keep her busy and it's
very active, no?
They've as parents, they've been at the check the money na uwi sa niya plays from board or do other things that they're not supposed to do. If you keep them active and busy, they're on the right.
I'll see Mr. What's his name? See your better half. Monica Todo.
Monica Todo and BCD Cannabis Commission. They've been meeting a lot, trying to promulgate a lot of the regulations that should have been promulgated years ago when the commission first started. And they have a lot of work ahead of them, but they're on the right track.
Okay, that's but anyway, at least he's doing good, and that's something that I haven't seen him for a long time.
Yes.
Okay, so Senator, thank you. Si Juice Mosi and I think you're on the right compass. You have the heart, helping the people. See if you can integrate those comments that or be provided by.
Offer ini moku para offer masalah ku ni tau tu tu mampu sama jam so everything that I hear, I try to incorporate them into the work that I do. I can't promise everything, but what I do for the people is I always give my.
But I know that strength. You have that strength, man. If everybody do their own thing, man. Everybody, whatever that you're created to do, like, already. So do your part. If everybody does their part, we shouldn't have any problem.
I agree.
Logwazo siya na toto, that's not their part. Jad manahalong giziti zo niya part na. Usa jigi mo na ka-conflict. If everybody does their own part, the world will be in peace.
Yes, and malago sa loki biat. Na kuno loki matuo ako sa niya part.
Yeah. Wajit ka tutuwa izo niya part sa pago na.
Mala sa pinaklaro na usas piso ko mensahe para imane ikumo sa tuwa na matuo siya. Tuo ito tong. Okay.
Yes.
Most importantly, togo ito tong.
Munga
mo na sangan baba ko dito to sa puditong tuo ito tong patong togo ito tong. Mas baba
if everybody does their part,
okay, mala na claro, teacher no pabi kumbira all ni zoning. Okay, so i-komiteya i-chair. I-chair debe nagwiza usen uzun i letters do solicit comments gini ni proper na na government agency pa department, you know, tigwago i-author of the bill. Okay? So, introduce this thing, pas sogi so mo dangin tuntungo so mo pas ketungo so mo sa mapapasyo ni Toto ni Toto tapuron sogi Toto. Sa pago ba bisangan na para zoning zangin magahin na masangan is tinakuntus na mismo siya titumungo na introduces na legislation, pues shame on you. Sa mapapasyo ni salapi Toto poron tungo itutungo sa kuntungo afa siya na existing law bago ni mo affecta izamu department at agency. Okay, and not just that, you also have to be aware and be cognizant of legislations that are coming out of the legislature that involves your agency. So shame on you for not, if you're going to come out and attack me and say, I didn't even know that this legislation was introduced, well, shame on you because you should have known. You know, you're being paid, you're receiving a salary to know your job, so do your job. Okay? Sige, so dispensa na kulan nuhidid sa pagulo aga sugogotis ti olo man ni paguumog etsi na statement siya ni man malamus na no matebo esti zanya bill sa takumbida titso no kabi takumbida. Okay, and not only that, they didn't even invite me. Just so the people know, the committee did not invite me. Okay, I'm a member of that committee, so you don't need to invite me. But thank you for the invitation. But I knew that was coming because I am a member of that committee, and I do take my job very seriously. Okay, I try to attend every single committee meeting that there is at the legislature. I'm a member of a lot of committees, and I can honestly tell you that I very rarely miss any committee meetings. And for the record, I did not miss that meeting. I was running late and I texted the chair and I said, Dispensa, I'm running a little late, but I'll be right there. And when I got there, I was 10 minutes late. They had already, adjourned the meeting, and that's my fault. You know, I will take responsibility for that. But don't you dare come on the air and tell people, that you're gonna table my bill because I failed to invite the proper agency that's responsible for overseeing this particular law. Shame on them and shame on the zoning. Ang pafanudin na pumasangan na tutsogit so sa titsotso ano pa bifanundida. Okay, yes. As the chair, and every single one of them are chairs of a committee, so they know what the rules and procedures are of not just the House but even SNIO. Okay. It's very clear in the rules that as the chairperson, you are responsible for what's on the agenda and who you're going to invite to your committee meeting for discussion. So don't you dare throw my name out there and tell the people na politizate was that the kumbida ne, and shame on the zoning administrator if she's going to really say that, well, I wasn't even aware that that legislation was introduced. Well, shame on you. You're receiving a salary. You should know what laws are in place and what affects zoning, and shame on you for not knowing that this legislation was introduced. This legislation was introduced back in October. It's now May. Okay, and I actually asked the governor to please push this bill because it's so important that we take care of our people. Yes.
Talwa po di oras you're on the right compass. Like I said, keep doing a great job. Let's juice masi talo si Senator Corina Magofnia. Kumagi winigi Zotano Station, Zotano Marianas Agupa. Si juice masi Senator. Tapan sige muna tapan our communication with to the people is
it's a responsibility
yes.
sa pareto.
Yes, that's right.
Nimubotay na matmatega rolong patatsogi itsetsu basta itsetsu kutsinada na tawag so tunga na election year to kumikala na purun dakko zu uzum sa purun na babay namno sa position so itsetsu mo jang keke I'm not about that. I'm about doing the work that I'm supposed to do. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. We'll get you back to our program every few months.
Thank you.
Every few months,
yes. I do apologize. Not to respond to you. I try my very best to respond back to people.
Continue doing a great job. Okay. So we'll get you back maybe in a couple of months again. Okay. Thank you. Sige tayo si Senator Corina Magofnia. Wala sabi closest din si Gwela Gatete. Gwela Gatete utunga na stano pati ora na patahudson. Gazo mo last comment.
Hanggang Glenn, si Jesus Masi, matugwini espesyal na finaisin gini ni familia na para manafan manungo todo i familia siya giza Marianas Guam dan Estados Unidos na hadinguhit i lahita celuta as Julia Songaw Calvo za gaigi pagu giza Hispanaway Washington zaman malago para o manunsya principalmente para siya manggaigi gilogo na para ogwaha viewing no June 1st Hunyo dia 1 watu gi Fur Lane Memorial Park and Funeral 924 176 East Spanaway ginin i oran alas 2 gitaloni istai oran alas 7 gipupuengi watu giza Spanaway Washington di June 1st pago ifinatonya mogi giza saipan jan luta jani entero giza luta sempre uma anununsya jan todo man confirm i informasyon gipresente gwagwaha pina misa watu giza finenina hamzubeno giza saipan watu gi San Vicente Church Monday, Wednesday, and Friday gininilas oran alas 6 gipupoini. I Tuesdays and Thursdays ginini oran alas 6 giegan. Ang Sabado, Saturday ginini oran alas 5 gipupoini dan Domingo gi oran alas 6 giegan. Watu gi San Jose Church alas 6 gipupoini kada dia misa. Watu gi St. Jude Church alas 6 gipupoini kada dia misa. Pago gwini kita guaham giza toto in Nuestra Señora de las Aguas Church lunes hasta viernes alas 5 Sabado alas 5 gipupoini. Pago Domingo alas 9 gipuegan. Pago giza luta i San Francisco de Bora Church alas 6 giegan misa kada di San Isidro Church alas 6 gipupoini. Pues dangko nagradecimiento dan pudi sa potasyon mizo tinajuzut para kahin luta as Senyor Julian Songaw Calvo ginini familia. Sempre wawa mas noticia sinyabenti otro sábado talo Glenn tana hujung mas noticia ni claro letsa jan oran ne para ofatu watu sa ipan jan mag watu gizaluta. Enawa si Jesus Masi.
Jesus Masi wala gatete. Put in on update para ito no adinyo if former Senate President Julian Songaw Calvo si Jesus Masi. Mati ora kanelos na para tahutso mi programata pago na Sabado za ini na tanoy no crew na si Jesus Masi izo tano special guest para pago na Sabado ini na si Senate President Edith De Leon Guerrero si Jesus Masi di update siya po di 902 dan ato siya man apunta speaker Kuda Gomez Loke po isgayon si Governor Palacios pwede ito siya man mention na pago pwede patsulati ta immigration and labor control naging sinya man no sa tisinya man efe nahit zangin tisinya no tausay dos na kanayta sinya na para kanaya na para ta sablimo na na minakat itas pafana. So thank you President Dilong Guerrero. Dan lokwi i ultimo gini na humalom si Senator Corina Magofnia. Siga mo na ligaw taymano na ipinisisoryo siya bulang gasto i minor policy changes sa na isinya hana istira mas mo na hana gaiput sa i ekonomiyata gini. Kung sige mo na ino siya. Thank you Senator Magofnia. Todo lokwi i timpo mo. para pago na Sabado. Jan lokwi para ato siya iman manawagang halom tunga na ti todo siya ta answer. Sa pudi tempo na iti siya mas lo importante este. Tangin tatutun tali programato to Sabado na pronto inagang mo magi. Siya lokwi sumaw na how man na ideo siya. Nagin-nesting na siya tasoda futuro. Para todo dosit, jadi man mamamayla siya na tempo. Lomati ora panelos na patahutsum, spensa hasta otro Sabado, talo gini na eskwela agatete gi Island Guaham, si Jus Mase, eskwela agatete, tutulog yung tempo gano, dan tuloy maniiku, specialmente, si Jus Mase, Guaw si Glenage, Manglona, nagwayza, nakamolig dan pas para todo do Samzo, Ugwayza Hamzo, adios, estor Sabado.